and said, "Tonight's very special. My daughter Serena is now engaged to Mr. Chase. Such a delightful match. I couldn't have asked for a better son-in-law." Everyone turned and smiled at Serena and raised their glasses. The man sitting across from her looked at Mr. Chase and back to Serena. He mimed a small gag, and for a moment Serena really thought he was choking, until he smiled, and his leather shoe rubbed against her ankle. She immediately sat up straight. The man leaned over and spoke to the mare as if nothing had happened at all, but no one spoke to Serena, and she stirred her vegetable soup until it went cold. Occasionally she glanced to the end of the table where Mr. Chase and her father leaned close together and gaily conversed, like lovers. "You must do it for the family," her father had told her again and again to counter her very reasonable objections. "I don't know him. I'm not ready. I'm only 18. "It's what your mother would have expected," her father had said, and this always silenced her. Serena knew very little about her mother, except that she had been quite the beauty, a daughter of one of the wealthiest textile merchants in the city, and Serena's father had loved her very, very much. Her nanny insisted on this point: true love. However, her mother didn't return to the woman she'd been before her marriage: witty, charming, free. Only the birth of Serena had offered her temporary happiness. Throughout the years, Serena had overheard the staff telling new hires the rumors about her mother, how her sadness brewed storms in the Atlantic, and the more she was confined to the home, the more her once gleaming blue eyes turned the color of ashes, the more hair she shed, and the more weight she lost. Until a doctor promised Serena's heartbroken father that the only cure was temporary bed rest in Connecticut, and temporary became 10 years. She died in her sleep when Serena was 14. Serena had never been allowed to visit. Her father had promised it would hurt her too much. Wicked hurricanes would brew just for Serena. Her unhappiness would make lightning strike. Though her father had fallen madly in love with her mother, Serena wasn't convinced her mother would have wanted this kind of marriage for her, not if it felt like this. During a main course of lamb medallions and a red wine and rosemary reduction, Serena's foot found its way into the pant cuff of the blond man. Their feet caressed for a brief moment before her father called upon him. "Dr. Alex Danner," her father said in his booming baritone voice. "Please tell us of those wild adventures of yours." Dr. Alex Danner cleared his throat, smoothed his tie with one hand, and then said, "In Southeast Asia, there are remote islands with the world's oldest rainforests and an amazing range of biodiversity. Much like the Amazon, which most of you are familiar with, I assume." He had captured the full table's attention, especially Serena's. "There's an English-speaking community in Borneo and Sumatra now, as those islands are referred to, and my company's offered to send me there to study the flora," he said. His cheeks reddened, and his voice grew louder. "And to discover, at least we hope, cures for the maladies of our times. Tuberculosis and malaria, chiefly." "Is it a dangerous place?" Mrs. Bart said. "Yes, ma'am, I suppose it is." Alex smiled and added, "Tigers frighten me most." "I should say so." Mrs. Bartz fanned herself with a linen napkin. "What do you most want to see there?" Mr. Chase said, and Serena cringed. He was the kind of man to ask others about the unknown world without any desire to experience it for himself. Alex said, "Orangutans in their nests. They build them so high in the forest canopy, they can be rather hard to spot. Dragonflies, too. More species there than anywhere on Earth. But I assure you, gentlemen, I will not go for sightseeing. I'm convinced those islands hold cures for human diseases, and that mystery is the only one I care about." Of course, her father said. 5 years, is it?" "I will make a return visit for an update then, sir," he said. "Very well," her father said. 5 years. 5 years? Serena glanced at Mr. Chase at the far end of the table, who dabbed at his mouth with his